Okay, we are recording. Hello, good evening. Make sure you have 2 blocks or at least a block with you this evening. Okay. And we are going to be starting on our back. So tonight is going to be hopefully juicy. It's going to be chill. Okay. So, making your way onto your back. If you want to support your head with something, you're more than welcome to support your head with something. And we are going to be lifting our hips off the ground, and we're going to put one of our blocks underneath the hard part of the low back area, that sacrum area, the spot that is kind of like this little triangular bone. And we're just going to place our hips down on this block. And this is where we're going to start. This is where we're going to do our breathing, our grounding. And just once you're there, once you've settled and the hips are settled on the block, maybe you bring your hands to those hip points. Allowing the legs to become heavy, the feet to become heavy on the floor. As you're breathing, think about breathing into the hips, breathing into the low back. Breathing into the belly as well. So especially here in the beginning in this position, we may feel like it takes some time for that low back space to settle and relax. And the longer we're here, the more we can continue to chill the breath and send the breath to this hip and low back space. You may find that the actual tissue and the muscles of the low back, the spine, the upper glutes, they start to relax. You may even feel that relaxation happen, like as an actual release in that low back space. So while you're here breathing, just notice if the legs are still a little constricted or tight, if there's holding going on in the spine, if you have to move the block slightly up or down. And then just really let that breath be a continuous flow. In through the nose or the mouth, hopefully the nose. And out through the nose or the mouth. Good. We're just going to take a few more rounds of breath here. Seeing if each exhale can take you deeper and deeper into this relaxation. Give yourself one more round of breath here. And then from here, we're going to pull the left knee up into the chest. So we're staying on our block if we can for now, and just gently pulling the left knee up in towards our chest. Now the other foot can stay on the floor, and only if it feels right in your low back, you can straighten that other leg. Sometimes it's a little too much, but sometimes we get just enough, like really good stretch sensation in the front of the hip. So just take a few rounds of breath here, seeing if we can let the other leg relax. And just using the strength of our arms to keep the left knee in towards our chest. One more round of breath here. And then before we switch sides, we're going to rebend that right leg, especially if it was straight. Okay. And then just gently allow the left leg to float down. Take a moment, adjust yourself on the block if you need to. And then the right knee pulls up and in towards your chest. Starting here for now. Beautiful. And if and when you're ready, this side may be a different story, so always listen to that. We're going to straighten the leg only if it feels right. And again, throughout this practice, think of your exhales that allow you to go deeper, that sink deeper into juiciness, deeper into stretch, without pushing yourself past or a zone or over the edge, right? Because we want really like good sensation here, relaxing sensation. We don't want to feel like we're struggling a lot or our breathing gets heavy to hold a position. One more round of breath. And then slowly, gently pull that left leg back in. And this is where you have the option, if you want to float both knees in towards your chest. And from here, we're going to float both legs up towards the sky. And so what we want is like for that pelvic rock, that pelvic tilt, where the tail sort of tilts up towards the sky, the hip bones rock back. And we find that nice tilt of the pelvis that allows the legs to just float, just float, just float. So especially if we spent a lot of time on our legs today, maybe we did a lot today, we worked a lot, or we trained a lot, whatever it was, clean, poop. This is a really beautiful place to be, to allow all of that blood flow back down to the chest, easier back down to the heart from the legs. And they have a tendency to want to bend, which is okay. So like if the longer we're here, you notice the knees start to bend a little bit, that's all right. Just let them bend. A lot of times when I'm in this position, I literally feel like the sensation, like I feel almost like a vibration, a tingling in the legs as that blood rushes down towards the hips from the feet. Again, always coming back to your breath, that lengthened inhale and exhale, that smooth, fluid breathing. And if you want to articulate the ankles and just start gently rolling them one direction, slowly, like super juicy, like super slowly, one direction. And then the other direction. And we're here just a little longer. Notice like what's happened to the legs, how heavy they are getting or have gotten. Legs. Yeah. And then we're just slowly gonna just gently allow the knees to start to bend and just come into the chest once more. I like to place one foot down and then the other foot down nice and slow. And from here, we're gonna press into the feet. So we're gonna lift the hips up and remove the block down and out of the way. And just really let the body settle into the earth for a few moments. Notice if there was any space that feels like there was created in the low back. And then from here, we're going to come into a supine twist. Now, everyone has their variation of supine twist. So some people like to hug the knees into their chest and drop them over to the other side. I'm going to this evening cross one leg over the other. So I'm crossing on this instance my right leg over my left. I have my block close by just in case. I'm going to just simply shift my hips to the right a little bit and then drop my legs to the left. And I'm going to use my block to support my top hip. Okay, so I'm supporting my top hip. And from here, I'm going to open up, if it feels right, the right arm and the chest towards the sky. If at any time you want to just simply stack your legs, you're more than welcome to. And this is where we'll be for like the next 2 or 3 minutes, seeing if we can breathe some decompression into the right shoulder, allowing it to fall closer to the ground. If in tune, we can also drop the top hip or relax the top hip so this leg gets nice and heavy. Especially in positions like this, I like to notice where my breath goes in the body. Is it more in the ribs or the belly? Is it more in the low back or the hips? And always coming back to your breath, always coming back to that breath. Even if you feel your mind wander, you notice it, notice what it's wandering to, and then just gently pull it back to the breath and the sensations in the body. And then from here, my friends, we're slowly going to just use our hands to help us as we bring ourselves back onto our back. Maybe you just take a few moments to roll around with the knees into your chest, just some way that feels good. Bringing some of that playfulness in. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to bring the feet down to the ground, and we're going to find that supine twist on the other side. Again, taking what you want, right? So have your blocks close by because they can support you. I'm going to cross my top leg, my left leg over top of my right first. And then I'm gently going to just shift my hips to the left as I knock both my legs over to the right, this other side. And then open arms. So I'm going to like open my torso, inhale, open this left side. My gaze or your gaze can be up towards the sky, up towards the ceiling. Maybe it's over the left shoulder. Maybe it's over the right shoulder. But the hips are not over to the right. And just seeing if we can allow everything to settle into the earth, the left shoulder. The left hip. The bottom leg, it doesn't have to be working. The right shoulder also doesn't have to be working. One thing that I noticed for me is in positions like this, the shoulders tend to grip for a while, like they're holding on to something. They're literally like gripping something, like a hand would. And then I notice it, and I just have to be like, okay, let go, let go, let go, relax. And I can literally feel it just let go. The tissue sinks a little deeper. And sometimes it just takes a while. That's why we hold these restorative postures for a little bit longer. Just stay here for a few more moments. And then slowly, gently using your hands to draw this left knee, this left hip in towards your chest, rolling back to the back body. And maybe if happy baby or a version of happy babies in your practice, you can grab maybe like behind the knees is a great place to grab too. Right, as you playfully rock side to side. Maybe it's the ankles, maybe it's the arches of the feet or the big toes. And just take a few moments here. That playfulness, this playful rock side to side. Beautiful. And the next time if you're rocking, the next time you're over to the left, we're going to roll onto our left side. And just pause there for a moment. almost like we're sort of chilling, laying in bed. And then just eventually making our way up into tabletop, taking your time to get there. Padding your knees if you wish to pad your knees. You can tuck your toes under for this or leave them untucked. It's up to you. As we take ourselves through this extension of the spine, our cow posture, and flexion of the spine. And especially after a long day or a day, just in general, I like to invite people to maybe close their eyes. You can move slow, fast, globally, the whole spine together. Maybe you want to work segmentation, one vertebrae at a time. And just really take the time to make this movement yours. Right? I don't know what positions your body we're in today. Just add in anything that feels good, even if it's that spiral motion of the whole spine. Just think of this practice as being like really gentle with yourself. Right? There's no need to push or pull any which ways. You keep flexing and extending the spine using your breath. And then from here, my friends, you're going to drop your hips back towards your heels. And you decide, right, if you want your knees together, if you want your knees out wide. You can use your bolster under your hips or your blocks under your hips, right? Like if the hips are super tight, I'm just going to like lift the hips up a little bit and then allow the chest to dip down towards the ground. And from this position, like we want to feel supported, we want to feel like we can relax our body, our chest, our forehead, just relaxing everything down. Again, really noticing like where the breath goes in this position. If we can allow our belly to be soft. And if your mind wanders, just bringing it back. Noticing how heavy the body may be if you sunk a little closer to the ground. So from here, just gently pressing yourself up with your hands, just a little bit. You may have to move a prop or a block out of the way. We're gonna stay in this position, just press into our hands a little bit more. So the elbows may lift off the floor. And then from here, we're gonna bring the hands a little bit closer back towards our hips. So we're sort of shifting back a little bit. And I'm kind of in this collapsed quadruped. I have still my bolster and my block under me. And I'm going to bring my right hand behind my head as I continue to press my left hand into the ground. I'm going to press my head back into my hand, and I'm going to inhale and open up through the rib cage on the right side and the chest on the right side. I'm going to twist my chest open towards the sky. Inhale. As I exhale, I'm going to close this torso. I'm going to bring my elbow towards my left wrist. Inhale, I'm going to open and twist, squeezing my shoulder blade back. Exhale. Closing, trying to bring the elbow to the wrist. 2 more. Inhale, lifting, twisting. Exhale. Closing it off. 1 more time. Inhale to lift. Press your head back into your hand. Good. Exhale. Twist, twist, twist. And then relax this hand down to the ground. And you may want to slide it closer to you, farther away. But we're in this collapsed quadruped again. And the other hand comes behind the head. So we're squared off, facing forward. And as we inhale next, we press the head back into the hand and we open up. So we're opening the left side of the rib cage, the left side of the torso, pressing into the right hand. On the exhale, we twist to the right wrist. We inhale to lift. We exhale as we twist, reaching the elbow towards the right wrist. Beautiful. 2 more. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we twist. Good. Last one. Inhale, open it up, open it up. Exhaling. Good. And we relax. Now you can sit upright. So I'm just going to stay here. If you need to adjust your hips, sit cross-legged or have the legs out in front of you, please do. I just want you to sort of relax, sitting upright with the shoulders over your hips. Okay. From here, we're just gonna, maybe you want to close your eyes as we lift. Heavy arms, so the arms staying heavy. We lift the shoulders up towards the ears. We roll the shoulders back. We drop the shoulders down. So we're rolling the shoulders forward, up, back, and down. And we'll continue like this, nice and slow. Just give me about 2 more this direction. Trying not to move like the rest of the body, just allowing the shoulders to move. And then, my friends, let's reverse direction. So we drop the shoulders down. We slide them back, up, forward, and down. Beautiful. Back, up, forward, and down. Nice. Notice where and what direction you want to sort of skip. Notice where you might not have a lot of movement, what direction you may not have a lot of movement. Notice where it's like, oh, I have a lot of movement, or this feels really tight. So just taking this slow, very slow. Beautiful. One more. Nice. And then relax, and then relax. We're going to kind of do the same thing with the neck, okay, as we drop the neck down towards our chest. And I just want you to pause for a moment here. So we're sending some of our breath into the back of the neck space. From here, we're going to slide the chin to the right shoulder and pause here. So now breathing into the left side of the neck. Good. And then drop the ear back over the shoulder, pausing here. Nice. Lifting the chin towards the sky. Only pausing here if it feels okay. And then dropping the chin towards the right shoulder. Or, excuse me, the left shoulder, the other shoulder. Pause. Drop the chin down towards the chest, the left collarbone. Bring the chin back to center. And then stack back up. Take a breath. As you exhale, drop the chin towards your chest one more time. And again, we send a breath. We send that inhale into the back, the posterior portion of the neck. Draw the chin to the left shoulder, pause. Dump the ear back over the shoulder, pause. So breathing into the right side. Lifting the chin up towards the sky. Drawing the chin up and over to the right side, the right shoulder. Drop the chin down, right collarbone. Chin to the center of the chest. And then stack up nice and slow. Beautiful job. So we're going to come seated, fully seated on the hips if we weren't already. And we're going to extend the legs out in front of us. So if you like to sit on something, so if you like to sit on a bolster, if you like to sit on a pillow to prop your hips up, it's a good idea. Okay, otherwise have your props close by. I'm using all of my props tonight, all of them. I need them. So you can, even if you want, prop your hips back against the wall, right? You can even prop your spine back against the wall if you have one. So the legs are good, are going to be out in front of us. And we're gonna come into a forward fold. Now, if you'd like to keep your legs together, you're more than welcome to. If you need to put something behind the knees, right? If you need to put a bolster, which actually, or your blocks, some pillows underneath the knees, please do so. So we're supporting the kneecaps. They don't have to be locked out, you know. And we're gonna start with the chin and the neck. So what we're doing is we're going to be rounding our spine first this time, which a lot of times we don't guide forward fold that way, but we're going to round our spine first, so we get nice amount of flexion in our spine. And then we're going to hinge at the hips a little bit more. So you can take this forward fold as deep as you want to go and use a block. Use something to support your head. Okay, because I want the head to be supported. I want the head to be supported. It's really important for the nervous system when we're in these down regulated positions to support the head, because it's heavy. It doesn't like to be hanging without support. So just take a few moments to settle, right? To prop yourself up in a way that's going to support you properly. And if you're already there, just support. Just hang out there. You know, just allow your spine to round. Allow your arms to be heavy. Send the breath. Send the breath into those areas of possible discomfort. Of deep stretch. Are you breathing naturally? Are your legs relaxed? Are your arms heavy? Chest heavy? Do you need to drop your head a little lower? Do you need to drop up the blocks a little lower? The longer we're here, a lot of times we tend to be able to fold a little deeper. Just take a few more rounds of breath here. Then slowly, gently, I like to use my hand to press myself up, pressing myself up. Taking it slow to come up, nice and slow to come up. Just give yourself like presence for a moment, right? This sort of like a moment to just be upright after being down for so long. And now we are going to truly settle into the ground for our final relaxation for Shavasana. So wherever you are, moving those props out of the way, this is your time to take something else that you need for your evening. If you're like, I need to move this way, I need to do this one thing, that one thing, I need to do something else. Go ahead and do that something else now. And then we're going to make our way all the way down onto our back once more. Again, propping ourselves with props as needed. Maybe we need to just like windshield wiper the legs side to side for a moment. Wiggle around for a moment or two. Until eventually we find stillness. Your legs can be long. They can be bent, feet planted. Soles of the feet can be together. Knees can be knocked out wide. Whatever you need. You can cover yourself up with a blanket, right? Especially if it's like cold, pretty cold on the floor where you are. And then once you're down there, once you're in that position of comfort, go ahead and take a big breath in. And as you exhale, let it all go, maybe out the mouth this time. And if you're like, I didn't feel things settle, I didn't feel things settle just yet, we're going to take one more. So big breath in. Biggest breath in of your day. And exhale. Let it all go. Let's see if you can feel your body just collapse, relax. Just watch yourself, just allow yourself to be here. Don't need to push the breath anymore, pull the breath anymore. There's nothing else you need to be doing or thinking about or moving. Simply giving yourself presence, this awareness of being. This almost knowing that you're right where you need to be. Now, my dear friends, you can stay here as long as you wish. As long as you wish. You are ready to bring gentle movement back into the body. And feel free to now bring that gentle movement back in. It can be slow. As if you have all the time in the world to get up, which you do, right? Just imagine it's like that Sunday morning or Saturday morning, and you're just really taking your time here onto one side. And then eventually, slowly making your way up to seated. Take your time. Maybe even keep your eyes closed the whole time. Keeping this soft. And then once you're upright again, just like pause for a moment and just notice if we're so ready to start moving on to our next thing. Some of us dinner, some of us the rest of our day, but just give yourself a moment of stillness. Like just let yourself settle, even if it's like, I can't sit up tall anymore. I just want to round my spine. I just want to relax my shoulders, my belly, my hips. And only if you feel called, bring your hands together, just gentle pressure. Feel your thumbs into your chest. Take a breath in through your nose. Exhale out your mouth. Or your nose, like I did. And then just give yourself one last moment of presence, of knowing, of awareness. And then you get to enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much. Thank you, my friends. Just give me a moment while I unplug, while I stop recording.